Good morning, community. Welcome to another Coffee and Business with Marcelle. I'm so excited about today, even though we don't have a guest. Today is really going to be about us having a conversation, as well as me giving you an update on IMPACT Masterclass and what's going on with that. I mean, I've pretty much stressed my team out at this point, but it's who I am. I've made a whole bunch of changes to not just the ebook itself, but also the workbook that goes along with it, because that's just the type of person that I am. So let's just jump into it. I'm gonna wait till like a couple people actually join, and before I actually get started. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marcelle Collins-Clyburn. I am CEO of Marcelle Collins-Clyburn and Associates, Inc. To my clients, though, I am their business operations strategist. And what does that mean? Clients really reach out to me when they don't know any other direction to take their business in. They have a business plan or may not. They've been in business for at least a good 2 to 3 years, and they're wanting to understand what direction their business needs to go in. So then they'll reach out to someone like me who says, hey, Marcelle, I have, a business. My business is generating some revenue, or my business is declining in revenue, and I need to be able to understand why. So working with me, the first question I'm going to ask is if you have a business plan. Because a lot of times people don't understand that when you create a business plan for your business, you can literally turn that business plan into a strategic growth plan for your business. That's what you created it for. People think that, well, I need a business plan for funding, which is true. I need a business plan because I want to get a commercial space. That's also true. But most importantly, your business plan should be turned into a working document for your business. So with me, if you don't have a business plan, that's fine. One of the things that we'll do is I like to be able to study trends in your business. So how do I study trends? I actually pull your financial data. I analyze your data based upon your client, the market that you're in, how often you generate sales. Also how, I look for peaks and low seasons within your business. And then on top of that, I look at your staff, if you have one. Majority of my clients are not solopreneurs. I'm gonna say 90% of my clients have employees, or they have heavy contractors, which means their business employs up to 20 people at a time. And for me, I like to be able to look at your organization chart, to be able to look at, roles and responsibilities, to see who's doing what, how well they're performing. So when I come in to do an assessment of your business, it's not just based upon the financial data. I'm also going to look at your employees. I'm also going to study your industry, and then my team and I come together, and what we do is create this business assessment document. This document is going to tell you the internal as well as the external factors of what's going on in your business. And then from there, we take it a step further by being able to say, this is where your revenue is now. Where do you want to grow? Where do you want to grow? How do you want to grow? In what markets? Are there any new desired products or services that you would like to incorporate? Because for all those things, we take into account of how you're going to move for at least the next 5 years in your business. And then from there, once we create a growth chart for you, the next phase is the strategic plan, to be able to say, hey, this is, what your business was doing internally. This is external factors. And I really like to work with clients who have surveys from their clients or their customers. A lot of times that's some of the things that we forget to do, whether we're in a service-based business or a product-based business, is to get the feedback from your clients, because you want to be able to know, how the service was, what service they actually received from you. And on top of that, do you have repeat buyers? So we take all of that data into consideration as we're creating a plan for you. So this leads me into the reason why we're live today, pretty much with me talking about the IMPACT Masterclass. And this is exactly why I've created this masterclass, is to be able to help businesses understand, first and foremost, the importance of creating a strategic plan, and not just any plan, because a lot of times, as businesses, we create these goals because, the industry said, hey, you have to have goals, you have to have, vision, mission statement, but then you really need to be able to take that a step further and be able to say, hey, based upon this goal, we actually need a strategy around that goal for execution. Oh, thank you. We need to be able to have a execution around that goal. And in order to execute that goal, what you really need is a strategic plan. And not just any strategic plan. I actually love to call it a strategic growth plan, because it is you being able to create this document that is going to take you from making $1 million to 10 in the next 5 years. And for me, I love the 10X concept. That, the first person who I heard say it was Grant Cardone. 10X. It's easier to 10X your business than a 2X. Sometimes, I honestly believe in that, but a lot of times, people will say, well, no, it's really hard to grow a business. No, you can easily grow a business with the right strategic growth plan. And in order to create that plan, you have to have, internal data. And I want to be able to talk about the internal data. Internal data is a lot of times what we as entrepreneurs and business owners lack. We only do our books once a year, and that's when it's time for tax season, where we start to grab like receipts, or we scramble and have someone like me also, because we do financial analysis and management reporting for our clients. I have clients who will reach out to me once a year and say, hey, Marcelle, I need to prepare for tax season. And a lot of times they don't even know how much they have made, who have paid them. They haven't done any type of review on their expenses. They're spending money and not creating a budget for your business. If you don't have a budget for your personal self, you should at least have a budget for your business. I have to admit, I have been guilty, at times just spending without being able to say, hey, this is how much I spent the year before, or better yet, this is how much I spent on this same expense the quarter before. You really, really, really have to know your business inside out when you are wanting to grow. Because when someone like me comes into your business, these are some of the things that I'm going to ask you. I'm looking at all of your expenses. I'm seeing that you have a lot of one-off expenses. Why? Why do you not have, a certain bucket of reoccurring expenses? And even if you do have reoccurring expenses, or you're spending money on, let's say, travel, is this really travel? Are you traveling for the business, or are you just bucketing expenses in this category because you think that it makes sense? Really to being able to understand what your expenses are, what your sales are, how you're actually, operating the business on a day-to-day basis. It should not be on an annual basis. And even if you are, if you don't have an external bookkeeper, you have someone internal, or you're doing it yourself, you want to be consulting with someone, like even if it's your tax preparer. You and your tax preparer, as a business owner, you should be creating a strategic tax plan for your business as well. This is one of the things that I really push to my clients. Even if you are a team of 2 or 3, part of your external team should be your CPA or your certified tax planner. And please let it be a certified tax planner and not just your cousin down the street that, just because they know how to do taxes. If it comes to your business, please, 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 please go to someone that has business knowledge to do business taxes and not just personal taxes. And then also your banker. One of the things that I'm going to ask about is, who is your, who do you have a banking relationship with? As a business owner, you should be in tune with the institution that's handling your business money. You should be able to, go into your branch of choice, and hopefully you have picked a branch that, for me, I have one that I go to in and out. So every time I'm in the branch, the bankers there, they know me. If I have a question about my business, if I have a question about transactions, I have a specific person that I could physically go and talk to. So as a business owner, that is the type of relationship. Even if you have some type of online banking institution that you do business with, you should also at least have one other banking institution locally that you do business with, someone that could be a financial advocate for you as a business owner when you're going out to get business lines of credit. Because a lot of us go, oh, I don't know, how I'm going to get funding for my business. And again, do you have a banker that you can actually go and talk to that can help you properly prepare? And then even someone who you can pick up the phone and should be on part of your external team is a business, consultant that has legal representation for you, because you're going to have questions. You're going to need good contracts. Even if you develop a relationship with someone who you went and you took their master class and they have a docket of contracts, you want to keep in touch with that person. You want to bring that person aboard to your business, just so that anytime that you have a question legally, anything about contracts, you can reach out to that person for. So if you are a solopreneur, my suggestion to you also will be to create an org chart. Even if you just have a VA, please just have a VA as a solopreneur. Having a VA is so important. If you can't have a local assistant, a virtual assistant is the best thing for your business, even as a solopreneur. But just understand, as a solopreneur, what you do have access to is external teams. Add your CPA, your bookkeeper, your certified tax preparer to your org chart, because as your business grows, you're going to need those people externally as well as internal. So again, in order to be able to understand how your business can grow, you need other people. You need other factors. You have to depend on data that you created for your business. When it comes to speaking of solopreneurs and new business owners, when it comes to new business owners and really solopreneurs, sometimes I am not the resource for them because they do not have any data for me to analyze. But even though I may not be the resource for you, I am always the one to come to for that resource that you need. I am not one of the ones who like to gatekeep. I do collaborate with all other consultants that is in my industry, because the services that I provide may be a service that they don't provide, and vice versa. So even if you're just starting your business or you're a solopreneur, still reach out to me. I may not be the person for you, but however, I do have a referral resource, and and for me, and it's not about you refer to resource to get anything from it, because that's something that I don't do either. Like, I will call other consultants who offer other services and say, hey, I have a client. The client is not a good fit for me, but I do believe that this client is a good fit for you. So here's the contact information. I feel like you should reach out. because it happens all the time, because my clients will refer me to their friends or their other colleagues, and and once we have like a quick 30-minute conversation, 9 times out of 10 they'll either be for me or not. But even if you're not the client for me, I will refer you to someone that can help you in your business. So now let's jump to Impact Masterclass. Impact Masterclass, like I said again, I have made so many changes to not necessarily the ebook, but the workbook. I am a person that I love when an author creates a book and creates a correlating workbook to go with it. I love it. I love it. John Maxwell is one of those people that I will buy his books all of the time, because with his books comes a workbook. So that's the same concept that I've created. If you get an ebook from me, there is a workbook that's going to go along with it, because I really want information that I provide to be a working document for you. I want you to be able to take the information that I created and apply it to your business. Because I feel like that's a lot of mistakes that we make attending master classes, webinars, seminars. We get so much information. We are so pumped. We're amped. We've taken a bunch of notes, and then we come home and we don't apply it. So we've spent our good money, our good hard-earned money, and, just to be motivated for the brief time that we're there. But for me, I love attending, seminars, webinars, because I've spent a lot of good money on them. But I love it when they can provide me not only with, an ebook of, what they've done, but also have a workbook to go along with it, for me to be able to take notes in, for me to be able to go section by section and say, okay, my business applies to this way. And that's one of the things that we're going to do in the masterclass. It is not about you listening to me, and watching a bunch of PowerPoints. No, it is literally us working together, step by step, segment by segment, section by section, to make sure that you have exactly what you need for your business. This will be a document where you and your team will be able to come together and collaborate, so that they will know what they need to do in order to help you and the business be successful. That is the ultimate goal of this. The first 3 days really will be spent on the first 3 sections of the workbook. And then the next 2 days is going to be Q&A. It's going to be you asking questions to myself, my team, as well as my colleagues on the information that you wrote in your workbook, to be able to say, hey, let's take section 1, which is creating a business assessment. I pretty much have taken how I create my business assessment for your business, and I've tailored it to where you can basically create your own. Again, there will be times that I'm not going to be here. So you should know, when you hire a consultant, okay, these are the steps that I think you need to be, even after I'm long gone, your business is still surviving. You should know how to do a successful business assessment on your own business. Yes, my team has a lot of experience, so we can really deep dive and dig and pull information that you may not be able to pull. But however, as a business owner, you should know how to do a basic internal as well as external assessment on your business. And that's what we're going to go over day 1. Day 1, we are going to look at the internal factors of your business, and then we're going to look at the external factors. And we're going to list the strengths, do the whole SWOT analysis, your strength, your weaknesses, what makes you strong, and then also, what you need to focus on and revamp. We're going to go over that internal as well as external. Then day 2 is going to be about us creating a growth chart for your business. I love charts. I love anything that can show me graphic wise what my business is doing. And those are the things too that I just love to, to be able to see data analyzed when it comes to even my clients' businesses. But one of the things that we're going to do is create a simple growth chart for your business for the next 5 years. We're going to say, hey, this is where you are. This is where you desire to be. Let's give an example. Let's say you want to, right about now, you're doing $500,000, million and a half in your business. And you want to say, you know what, over the next 5 years, I want to be aggressive. I want to generate $10 million, which is doable. In these days of times, if you have your business structured properly, you have the right systems, you have the right tools, you have the right resources, you could easily 10x your company. With the right strategy, of course. So the thing, how we would do is say, okay, right now you're at 1.5. We're going to go from 1.5 to 10 in the next 5 years. We're literally going to be able to say, this is how the business is going to grow. So after we're able to find out how you want your business to grow, and as far as the revenue, and introducing, either expanding on the product and service that you have now, or introducing new factors in order to grow. And 9 times out of 10, it takes new factors to grow that fast. So we're going to map out that day 2. So once we have the assessment, then we have the growth chart. The last thing is day 3, which is taking all 2 of those components and putting together that strategic growth plan. And within that strategic growth plan, we're going to look at the 4 pillars. We're going to look at your revenue, which is your product or service that you provide. We're going to look at how your marketing is, your sales, and then your operations, which is where I'm strong at, the operations part. And the operations is really everything else that it takes to run your business. You're looking at your HR components, which is, again, doing assessment on your staff. You're making sure that you're including, the external resources that are very important to your business, which is your CPA, your accountant, your bookkeeper, your banker, and your legal services. Making sure that you have those 4. And then also, as an added bonus, corporate compliance. A lot of us skip that a lot of the times. So that's the reason why our annual reports or semi-annual reports don't get filed on time, because we don't have someone that's focused on your corporate compliance. And now with the new FinCEN report, you have to make sure that that's done at the beginning of the year. Otherwise, the federal government will start penalizing you. They're being lenient this year, but starting 2025, they are going to really start to enforce the new FinCEN report. So there are other reports as a CEO that you are completely responsible for. So within this masterclass, we're going to make sure that you have a view of everything that you need in order to make sure, as you're growing as an organization, that you're incorporating into this plan, and that you have a visual of, so that you can make sure that you and your staff are aware. Deadlines are critical. And even though sometimes, I know, like in North Carolina, we have to file an annual report. If you have an LLC, it's a little pricey. So the deadline for that is the same deadline for tax filing, which is April 15th. But a lot of times, like, we'll wait until like May, June, or even at the end of the year, we're scrambling. But no, your corporate compliance team or person, is supposed to keep track of those. And a lot of times for me, that'll be something that my VA will keep up with. And those of you who have been with me from the beginning of the coffee and business actually met Marie, who is my business operations manager now. She went from being my VA to to my operations manager, and that's because working together, we was able to grow her team. I'm not her only client. She has multiple clients now, so her team grew from, I think, like when we first started working together, she was at 4 to like now the team is at 12, and I am so proud of her. You're going to definitely see her at the masterclass. I cannot wait for you all to be able to work with her to see why I chose her as my for my internal as well as my external team. Love her so much. And then also, for those of you who know, she is going to be my successor for my company when I get ready to transition to being a real estate developer full time. So love Marie. You're going to get to know her. You're going to love her just as much as I do. So yeah, so that's the full 3 days. So it's going to be a lot of working. And like I said, the last 2 days, if you're going to be a platinum ticket holder, the last 2 days will be really of us working hand in hand, making sure that when you are done at the end of the week, that you have a full assessment of your business, you have a growth chart, and you also have a plan for how that business is going to grow. So I'm definitely excited about it. We've had to push the date back a little bit because, again, I've made so many changes to the workbook. I've completely stressed Marie and the rest of the team all the way out. But however, one of the things we did come up with was a compromise saying that the week of the webinar, we chose July the 11th the week of the masterclass. What we chose is to do a webinar, and a free webinar on July the 11th, that Wednesday. So that Wednesday, you're going to be able to sign up for the free webinar. And in that webinar, I'm just going to give a high level of the masterclass just to be able to, show you, what you're going to be in store for by attending the masterclass. I will be going over the workbook, very high level, but however, you're going to understand the reason why I put so much into this, because it's just not for me to gatekeep. I don't, like I said in the beginning, I don't gatekeep information. I am resourceful. So I wanted to make sure that the information that I was providing you will be for you to walk away and say, hey, I actually got some really good working information for my business as well as my team, and for me to be able to really understand the importance of those external resources. I am going to push that so hard for you as a CEO, solopreneur, entrepreneur of your business. Please develop these strong relationships with those external teams. See your tax preparer more than once a year. You really should be having conversations with the person who files your business taxes. You should be having a conversation with them at least once a quarter. Prior to December 31st, you should know exactly where you are when it comes to your tax liability. You should know if you need to go out and buy a business asset. You should know if you need to put more money into a retirement plan just for tax savings. You should not be seeing your tax preparer only once a year. If you are serious about growing your business, if you're not serious about growing your business and it's going to stay a side hustle, then yes, as a business, you can see your tax preparer once a year because that means it doesn't matter. But if you are serious about growing your business as part of your strategic growth plan, you need to see your tax preparer at least 3 times before you see them at the end of the year for them to file your taxes. That's the type of relationship that you need to have. And then as you grow 10 million and up, you need to be talking to your tax preparer at least on a monthly basis. Because the higher you grow in revenue, the more you need to know where you stand when it comes to tax season. I cannot stress this enough. I've worked with businesses who have made tons of money, but it takes one good audit for them to lose their entire business. And that's something that I don't want to happen to anyone that I work with, because the thing that I want to be able to hear after you have worked with me is that you and your tax preparer have regular conversations. You should also, when it comes to your books, whether you are the bookkeeper, which I prefer for you not to be your own bookkeeper, for you to get someone external or hire someone internal to manage your business books on a monthly basis. There should never be a situation to where you cannot produce a profit and loss statement at will for your company. If you have to say, well, I have to call my CPA or I got to call my bookkeeper, no, you should have a system that you can log into and produce a P&L at will. If you can't do that, then again, I feel like as a business owner, you're not really, a full business owner. You're just operating at a hobby. As you don't understand, ever since COVID, the government, the state, whether it's federal or state, they are not playing. They will come and audit your business, or better yet, if you have not even filed like all of the appropriate taxes, they're going to come into your account and they will drain it and keep it moving. And if you've made enough, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose your business. So I have worked with a couple of businesses because the business owner was not willing to do that level of commitment to their business. And I had to help them transition to do other things, because once they realized what it took to really be successful in a business and to grow into being a small business to a large corporation, they were not willing to do everything that it took. So I was like, okay, let's salvage the business. Let's sell off the assets so that you can finally figure out what it is that you want to do next. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot. I mean, you hear a lot of these social media gurus who on a consistent basis say, start a business, get an LLC, get business funding. Like, you can go and get business credit cards, but do you know what comes with that? There is a lot of work in being an entrepreneur. There's a lot of work in owning and running a company. Not just even what I'm talking about as far as, knowing your numbers, knowing where you stand tax-wise, but also when it comes to managing the overall compliance, the corporate compliance, the risk management of a company. When you enter into any industry that you decide to open up a business, you better understand, what the risk is. You better understand the compliance and behind that business. Because if you don't, you're going to close as fast as you open. Or better yet, you're going to find yourself in jail. Period. I mean, look at how many people that we've heard, throughout the news, go to jail over the PPP because they had a fake business. Or they had one and they overstated that business. Look at where it got them. So working with someone like me, it's a no-go for me on that. Like I am the type of person, I am all in your business. I am going to be asking you a ton of questions, because you working with me, you not one of my clients on the news. Not one of mine. So I am working with me, and really, and also it comes from my corporate background. I worked for corporate America for over 25 years at all different capacities, from HR, accounting, audit, risk management, corporate compliance. I've worked at multiple departments. I have helped my organization build other entities up under entities. So, I've worked with our legal department to see what it took to be able to establish, a corporation going from zero to multi-billions. So, with that experience, for me, it's been a gift and a curse, because the way I approach business is totally different from someone who never had a corporate background but organically grew a business to millions. But one of the things is that I have met them, but then I understand that they have a person like me with the corporate background that I have in behind the scenes helping them grow their business, which everyone should. Like, I am not saying that you should go and work for corporate America before you start your company, but however, if you are a entrepreneur that has no corporate background, my suggestion is for you to not be afraid to hire someone like me on your team with enough corporate experience that they can help you protect that business. And it is not about, oh, this person feels like they're smarter than me. No, you should want to have someone smarter than you. Like, even for me, I have a combination of people on my team with either no corporate background or a stronger background than me, or just as much as me, which is always a good collaboration when we come together and have our team meetings, because we can always bounce different ideas off of each other. And that is so very important, for you to have resources at your fingertips at different levels of business. Even for me, one of my mentors, she's worth a whole lot of money, and she's also been on the corporate side, but then she's also have grown multi-million-dollar businesses, and she sold them, and and now she's just strictly mentoring now, which I love that. When I walk into her room, I am definitely not the smartest person. It is her as well as other people that are in her circle, and I love that. I love that. The thing as a business owner, a lot of times, we say, oh, well, I started this business with no mentors, with no help, no coaching, no nothing, and I grew the business to $1 million. Okay. But in order to grow it to 10, 20, 100, you're going to need someone that's way smarter than you. So as a solopreneur, don't be afraid to get a mentor. Don't be afraid to get a coach. We spend money on things that are important to us. If you have a business, that needs to be important to you. Having a coach, having a mentor needs to be absolutely important to you. So in the last 2 days of the masterclass, that's one of the things that we will definitely talk about in the Platinum area is, having a coach, having a mentor. And I'm going to do some introductions to a couple of people who have been a coach and a mentor to me during my business journey. It has helped me so much, because coming from a strict corporate background to transitioning to an entrepreneur, I thought was going to be so easy. I was like, oh, I have this corporate background. All I got to do to get clients is make a couple of calls, and I'm going to have clients. I'm going to have all this business. Didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that. For me, when I worked for corporate America, I had an unlimited budget. When it came to projects that I worked on, I spent millions. It wasn't my money. It was somebody else's money, building somebody else's project, somebody else's dream. So when I jumped out in corporate, I spent a lot of unnecessary money. A lot of unnecessary money that was not spent towards the growth of my business. So during this class, this is going to be one of the things that I am going to stress to you as far as spending money that's actually going to grow your business, and not spending it just because. So one of the things that I have had to learn the hard way over the past 7 years is putting my business on a budget. Now, personally, not so much. But for my business, I'm going to watch how I spend. Oh, wait, how much that costs? Oh, okay. Now let's make sure that if I'm spending this, that I'm going to see a return on my investment. Because prior to when I first started, money wasn't a factor. I was cashing out. And then it was like, wait a minute. I sat up here and bought a $300 chair for my office when there was a sale on Wayfair for that same chair for $150. I could have saved myself some money. But personally, like I said, I don't work on a budget that much. But however, for my business, I am all about, I will spend it as long as I know I'm going to get a return on the investment. And like I said, a lot of times that return on the investment may not be cash, but it could be knowledge, that I could take that knowledge and then get a return on the investment. So it is just so much that was always in my head, that I'm happy that I had a team that forced me to pull everything from my corporate experience to being an entrepreneur for the past 7 years, making a few million and losing it, and now being back on the upswing of gaining it again. So I'm going to pour all into what I feel like, what my mistakes was, what was what was very successful for me, how I found my lane, how I found my niche, and how I found the ability to be able to grow a business to the level that I wanted to in order to pass it on to the next person. So again, as everyone kind of who know me personally, professionally, is that the next journey for me is going to be real estate development, even for me creating a plan. So as I'm going through the masterclass with you, just know that I am going to also be doing the same thing for my next business venture. So I'm putting together this information that you're going to put together for your business is the same information that I'm going to be putting together with you all for my next business venture. And I'm definitely excited about the next chapter. But again, I am also still here in this business. I will still always consult, regardless of me being a full-time developer or not, because it's in me. I'm going to consult. Like, I'm not going, and I'm also going to have the same team. So me having the same team transitioning to a new industry is going to be the best, because as you grow with Marie, you'll still grow with me. I'll still be available for Q&A for her, because I'm still going to work with her. I will still be a client of hers. So I'm not going anywhere. Not totally anyway. It's just that I won't be in the day-to-day. She will, but again, I still will be around for Q&A for anybody who wants to reach out. So just know the webinar is going to be coming up. I think we're going to release the webinar link based upon our team meeting yesterday. The link for the webinar is coming out on Friday, this Friday. That is my commitment. You all are my accountability partners. So if it doesn't come out on Friday, you all can rip me on social media. But no, the link for the webinar is going to come out on Friday for July 11th. We have a tentative date for the masterclass. I am definitely going to release that new date also on Friday with the webinar link. I cannot wait to see you all in the webinar, and I'm going to be so excited to be able to see you all at the actual masterclass. Trust me, on the 2 VIP days, I have some guests that are lining up. We are going to be forming a accountability community. We're going to give you all the information about the community at the webinar on July 11th. I have a couple more guests that I am working now to lock in, that I am super excited to collaborate with. Listen, for me, I do understand that I have competitors in my industry. Everybody say, oh, it's me versus me. In business, it's you versus someone else. Like, let's be realistic about that. You're going to have competitors. But for me, I am a firm believer in collaboration. I collaborate with other people who are in my industry. So there will be, just know I'm, curating other relationships with people in my industry or even connected to my industry as far as business funding in the form of grants, also lending. Listen, and even in mentorship, this one guest that we're still working out the details on us working together. When I say, I know when I drop her name, just know, if you are not planning to be a platinum ticket holder, you definitely want to be a platinum ticket holder when I drop her name, because she is phenomenal in business. She is well sought out. She's spoken in multiple countries on countless podcast platforms. I have followed her journey in business for the past 6 years, and she has her business has gone to the level that I desire for my business to go to. So just know I got a lot of things planned for the actual masterclass. So you definitely will want to make sure that you attend the webinar in order to get all of the key information. So I'm dropping the ebook, the workbook, and then also, how can I even forget about this? I also created another ebook called The 15 Laws of Power, Mastering Business Operations. Good morning, good morning. Mastering Business Operations. This is the one book that I put everything into as well. Like the word power for me is something that I say, I have an acronym that I say to myself on a daily basis. Prioritize obtaining wins every day regardless. As a CEO, as an entrepreneur, that should be your drive every single day when you wake up in the morning. That day, every morning you open up your eyes and you're operating your business, you always want to prioritize obtaining wins every day regardless. Power, like that's what power means to me every single day. Even if it's a small win, a win is a win. A win is a win. And I take all the wins however I can get it, small, big, whether it's securing a client or whether it's securing a resource, whether it is, even for me, like a personal development, as an owner, honing in my leadership skills, learning something new. A win is a win. So celebrate it, whether it's small or whether it's large. So today, I just wanted to jump on here. Again, this was one of those Tuesdays where it was all about me pouring into you, not necessarily having a guest, but it's, me sharing, what's going on with me, what's going on with the business, talking about the webinar as well as the masterclass that's coming up. And then now me talking about the next guest. Next week, there was a reason that this week I was talking about taxes, because next week I am going to introduce you to one of my key resources when it comes to taxes. She has a similar corporate background to me, which, is sometimes, it is just so like enlightening for me to be able to meet other business owners who have become entrepreneurs and made that transition. She made that transition a little quicker than I did. She worked for a huge, big firm. She went from working from that big firm to taxes. For me, the company that I work for, I listen, when I went to college, I didn't like taxes. I did not like business taxes at all. So that is never, ever my lane. I know about them. I can answer some questions, but as far as me sitting down and preparing a tax return, nope. I leave that to those who love it. And she is one of those key people who love it. Again, she came from working from one of the big 5. I'm going to let her tell her story, but my next guest is going to be Ophelia Goodman. She has a virtual tax company. I cannot wait for her to be able to talk about, how as a business owner, you map out a multi-million-dollar tax strategy for your company. I'm a strategist. I love when, you create strategic plans for your business. I love to create them for people. She is one of the ones who has successfully have repeat business clients who are doing very well, that she is in contact with, throughout the year. Those are things that I know personally. It is just so refreshing. Even when we went out for a strategic lunch, it ended up like, really, it was supposed to be like a girlfriends get together, but our conversations always pivot to business. And I was listening to her. She had to take a call from one of her clients who is securing a corporate, a commercial space. And one of the things that I can tell that this particular client and her have conversations all of the time, because she, was up on her numbers for her business. She knew exactly what she needed to provide. And it was just refreshing to me, for me to be able to hear her talk with her client and strategize on, how they're going to secure this space for her client. So, and those are the type of things that, like I said again in the beginning, that you need to have these personal relationships with your external resources, specifically your tax person, because you always need to be a step ahead of the IRS. You need to be a step ahead of the state. You need to know your position prior to the end of the year at all times in order to be successful. So she is going to be our next guest next week. You definitely don't want to miss it. You're going to hear her journey on how she was working for one of the big fives to what made her want to pivot to become an entrepreneur. And we have the same synergy. Like I said, similar backgrounds. I love her to death. Don't want to miss next Tuesday at 9:30. Join me again for Coffee and Business with Marcelle. And my word for today for you again is power. Power. Prioritize obtaining wins every day, regardless. Thank you all for joining me consistently. For those of you who join me every single Tuesday, thank you so much. You just don't know how much this means to me. Just for me to be able, for you to take your morning and spend it with me. I appreciate you so, so much. I'm so very grateful. And I see you all next Tuesday. Thank you so much.